recording.
Very good.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to have Sara Siami that we are interviewing today. Hi Sara.
Hello.
Welcome and thank you for being our interviewee in the VIP group this month, and I'm so excited everyone to introduce Sara. So Sara started with Living Beauty in 2017, has some really good competition achievements including the Fit Bikini Model Extravaganza. And when I met Sara, I was really impressed as well because she has her own business called Success with Sara. And that was all about sort of motivation, mindset, how to get things done in life, and, you know, balancing that as well with a corporate job. I know Success with Sara is a smaller part of what you do now, but I'm sure it will feed into a lot of the advice that you give us today. So thank you so much for being here, Sara, and just kicking off with talking about your 2017 and how you started with Living Beauty would be wonderful.
Sure. So I think I've been playing team sport for quite some time. I'd actually been playing roller derby and, you know, made it to like a reasonable level, like in the state teams and that kind of thing. But there was only like a certain amount of time you could kind of play that sport until your body kind of gives way. Like that doesn't matter kind of how old you are, just that kind of period of time playing. And I was at the point where I'd had like 3 surgeries on my face from injuries, like from breaking my nose, and decided that that was enough and to stop playing. And then I kind of felt a little bit lost because you didn't have that kind of team camaraderie. There wasn't that kind of regular routine, and I tried a few different things and it just didn't really kind of fit with what I wanted. And then I think I actually saw a Facebook advert, or like a Facebook post, sorry, about Amelia and kind of Living Beauty and like competition and just like health coaching. And I kind of thought about it, and I thought that's something that could really, you know, benefit you long term. It's something you can do by yourself. Like it doesn't necessarily matter if you don't have other people with you at the gym or, you know, that kind of thing. And I just thought that everybody looked really supportive and friendly. So I think I reached out to Amelia and joined a couple of posing classes, and you know, those classes were much more than just kind of posing. They're really around, you know, the whole experience and what to expect. And I think from there, I kind of decided that that was something I at least wanted to give a go. So joined up and trained pretty hard for a couple of competitions.
Yeah, definitely. And what did you achieve in 2017 and 2018? Run us through the competitions that you did.
Oh, you're testing my memory now. I think you might have to help me. I think I did ICN.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. They're all bikini categories. So I think I did 2 categories there. Then the WBFF, is that what it's
Yes,
called
that's
now?
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
it always changes its name. I think I might have came second in one of the bikini categories there, which, you know, there was only a very small number of people competing. So I don't know if that's really a huge claim to fame, but it was really good to step on stage. I think the achievement was really more about, I guess, how good I felt. So I think I might have ended up dropping about 10 kilos, excuse me, in total. I can't even remember how many centimeters, probably like 70 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just felt so good. Like I felt really fit, really strong, you know, really great about what I was eating, and training and that kind of thing. And then I think in 2017, I also entered Miss Fit Bikini Model in Melbourne, and I think that might have been the year that I won the Miss Girlfriend Award.
Yes.
There, yep. And then I had a little break and have just kind of come back into it.
Yeah. And how did you find, I was really excited to talk to you today because you're coming to us from Mooloolaba in Queensland.
Yeah.
And you're on a little bit of a vacay after your most recent competition, which was actually last weekend. So tell us a little bit about Fit Bikini Model Extravaganza and what you like about that particular competition.
Yeah, so the owner of the competition, Miriam, is just such a lovely person. And she's really focused on kind of like long-term sustainable health. It's not just all about like what's your body fat percentage, you know, how do your traps look it and that kind of thing, which a lot of the competitions are about, and that's totally fine. Like there's a place for all types of competitions. But for me, the Fit Bikini Model Extravaganza has, you know, a number of different categories. So you get to wear like formal wear or evening wear, like your nice ball gowns. You do like a themed sportswear round, and you're with the same girls the whole time. So leading up to the competition, they have like a Facebook group where you get to know the girls a little bit, and you're on stage every time together, and it's a really kind of helpful atmosphere. Like you know, you're all backstage borrowing each other's things and making sure that you all look good, and it's just a really, really nice competition. And I think it's definitely true that they are about, you know, holistic health and not just the way you look, because there's girls that enter the competition that are, you know, like all different kind of shapes and sizes, and I think they're all treated equally. They're all given the same opportunities, and all kind of celebrated in the same way, which is really, really good.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. I actually met Miriam back in 2015, and Elle, myself, and two other of my clients at that time went over to the Gold Coast, and that was when the competition was owned by someone else. And we actually met Miriam because she was competing alongside us, and she was just so lovely and friendly. And yeah, then she ended up having the opportunity to buy the ownership of the competition, and now that she owns the competition and has been bringing these shows, you know, for the past couple of years, like you say, there's opportunities for all shapes and sizes. It's not just about how lean you are. And I mean, you got a massive haul of prizes. Like, what placing did you get, Sara, and what prizes did you get?
I really did. I got I came runner-up, so second. And the prizes were amazing. I've got some of them right here actually, like loads of like what's this one? This one is a big bag to make protein balls with, like 750 grams. I know. This one is like a grains kind of mix to put in your cereal, like protein powders,
Tanning
lots
products.
of kind of tanning, eyelash products, like fake eyelashes. Loads of like protein bars and that kind of thing. So and some Savage Fitness like activewear, which was really cool. So yeah, like massive prizes. I think the sponsors really enjoyed being involved in the competition. And there was loads of photographers on the day, like so many photos that you get afterwards as well, which was really cool. And it's just a fun day. Like they make it a whole day event for you, and then your friends and family can obviously come watch the competition. And yeah, they definitely make it like a really fun event for everyone. Yeah.
And a few people have asked, because the entry fee is a bit more expensive than other competitions. So how much is the entry fee? Is it still around like the $800 or a bit more?
Yeah, I think it might be a bit more, to be honest. I think it might be around 1,000 maybe.
And what
About
does the
that.
entry fee include?
Yeah, so that includes your tanning on the day, or sorry, leading up to it, your makeup on the day, your hair on the day. If you're lucky enough to kind of be in the Gold Coast, they do some classes leading up to it, some different posing classes, and they definitely have a lot of information on their Facebook group available. So it's like a private group that they put you into, and they definitely do lots of different tips and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Also, some of the sponsors are looking for ambassadors, so I think it opens you up to a lot of opportunities as well, which is really cool. Yeah.
And I think, you know, when I have done comps before, the tanning is normally $150. The makeup and hair is about $250. So already you're up to $400. And I think, you know, the entry fee for that comp really covers, like you say, it's at a hotel, not a random, I don't know, other venue. And so what I really enjoyed about it was that even the backstage was quite a good, you know, big area to hang out. It was at quite a nice venue. So where was the venue that it was at this year?
Yeah, it was at the Mantra, in the Mantra on View in Surfers Paradise. And that's a really good point. Like the venue was really, really nice. And also, as I kind of mentioned, like the photographers there, you get your professional shots for each round on stage as part of that price as well, which is really good.
So that includes the photos. And I mean, you know, then if you think about normally for ICN or the other comps, the photos are another 200. So that's really 600. And then if you think about the fact that you're at a venue that is a beautiful venue, and if I'm remembering this correctly, you get photos taken around the pool and in like nice backgrounds. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah, you do. You get, like a couple of hours worth of photos, and I don't know if you get them all. I think you get like a couple from each kind of shot, which is just amazing.
Yeah,
Because as you said, that's really expensive, and to be able to just have that there whilst you've got your hair and makeup done,
yeah,
is a really good opportunity. And then also, you know, you get a goodie bag just for, like registering
yeah,
as well, and that kind of goodie bag, so everybody gets it, and that is like some fitness wear as well, like the same kind of stuff like protein powders and that kind of stuff, not as much as kind of what the winners get. Like the winners get an additional lot with some champagne, but yeah, it's quite a
yeah,
decent like goodie bag just for signing up, that you get on the day. So in my mind, like it's definitely worth the price.
yeah.
And to be able to, have your friends and family come, as you said, and sit like in a nice venue, and order like food and drinks if they want, and be able to watch you in a really nice environment is, yeah, different to a lot of the other competitions and makes it a bit more worth it to me
Yeah, that's
anyway.
awesome.
Yeah.
Such a good roundup. And that was why I wanted to chat to you about it today, because I was thinking, if we leave it for a few weeks, it's not so fresh in your mind.
Mm.
So, speaking of that, you're going to be going back to work next week. So, can you tell me, how do you avoid burnout when you've got so much to do? You've got a full time job, you've got your workouts, your meal prep, you have your husband,
Mm.
and you live quite a full life socially as well. So, what are some of your strategies to avoid burnout and perhaps for rest and recovery?
Yeah, I get asked this question all the time because people that know me just like, you don't ever stop, like you're a robot. Um, I think like it's really about being realistic. So a lot of people, and I work in HR and we talk about this a lot at work, like getting that work-life balance. And I think like the conversation is really shifting away from getting a work-life balance, because that means that there needs to be, some kind of equilibrium. But to me, it's more about harmony. So, sometimes, my workout and my exercise might be way up here and I'm sacrificing other things. But if I'm constantly kind of, having a bit of flex and being realistic about it, I think that's where I kind of hit that sweet spot. So, I think like planning is really important. So like I know that next week, because I don't land until, Sunday night, 9 o'clock, bang, Monday morning, I'm back at work. Like I know that next week I'm probably going to be off my game a little bit, and I'm comfortable with that. So in my mind already, I'm like, you know what, if I don't do my washing until next weekend, oh well. Like if I need to, get some kind of cheap things from the supermarket and, buy my vegetables already cut up from the supermarket and paid, triple the price just to save me some time, oh well, I'll do that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's just about being, to me, about being realistic, because like I know that I could push myself and I could do all these things and, be like regimented 100%, but that's just going to end up in me being, having, I guess, more stress, or leading to that burnout, as you said. So to me, it's really about just having that harmony and just being 100% realistic and planning with myself as well. Because I'm going away next weekend and then my husband's going away the weekend after. So it's kind of, I think, 4 or 5 weekends in a row that we're not home. So just kind of planning and preparing for that, is something that I take pretty seriously.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And I love what you say about who cares if the washing doesn't get done. And then
Yeah.
if you have to buy, like everyone knows it's way cheaper to buy like your kale, pumpkin, and celery and
Yeah.
chop that yourself. But if they've got a mix, at the supermarket, I know Coles and Woolies have excellent
Mm.
pre-packed, pre-washed, pre-cut vegetables. Yes,
Yeah.
like you say, you will pay triple the price, but if it's only for a week, what a great way. I love that shift in
Mm.
mindset that you're saying, like, you're going to just sacrifice the fact that it's more expensive for the fact that you're still going to get the healthy food, but it's going to cut down on that meal prep time, and it's going to reduce those barriers in your head of like, oh, I don't
Mm.
have the energy, I'm tired from my trip. So you're
Yeah.
still going to get all those awesome veggies and eat them. And yeah, I think that's really good. Thank you for that
Yeah.
advice.
All right.
So moving on to body image, and I think this really does align really, really well with the Fit Bikini Model extravaganza and everything that Miriam stands for in promoting the event. Do you feel any pressure to look a certain way in the fitness industry, even when you're not competing? And how do you deal with body image? And do you have any advice to our members about having a more positive body image?
Yeah, it's such a complex question.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's quite fascinating. I think, as I've gotten a little bit older, I've definitely got more comfortable with myself. Um, and I think as well, kind of looking at the fitness industry, there's people who I've seen who I think like, wow, their figures are amazing, like amazing. I would love to have their figure. And you talk to them and they're like, I've got like, a bit here and a bit here. And you're like, wow, they're not even happy with their figure. Like, that's amazing. And I think kind of the more and more that I've seen that with different people who I like absolutely admire, the more and more I think, well, like, where does it end? So like
Exactly.
if I get to that spot, then I don't think that's attainable, because then in my brain I'm just like, well, I need to get to the next spot and the next one. And where does it end? Like, no, I don't think anybody's 100% kind of happy with their body. So the way I've kind of started looking at it, and I think, maybe like my sister last year had breast cancer, which she's recovered from, and she's kind of really healthy now, but it's kind of changed my mindset in terms of like, well, your body, you have one body, and you really need to look after it. And I think, to me, the purpose of your body is to kind of keep you functioning and able to perform all the like activities or all the things that you want to do. So like if my body can do that, and I can, I don't know, like play with my nieces and nephews in the park and like, run after them and not get puffed, and, like push them on the swing and all that kind of stuff, like to me that's kind of winning. And if my if I don't look as great all year round in like active wear, oh well, like, can I still actually do the things that I want to do? Like, do I wake up healthy? Do I take any prescription medication? No. Do I have any kind of like like vitamin deficiencies in my blood test results? No. Like,
Yeah.
so I kind of almost have changed it and framed it in that way, because nobody's ever going to be 100% happy with aesthetically and how they look. But I think making progress to me is really important. So, when I'm training hard at the gym, being able to lift like heavier weights every couple of weeks, or, every week, to me, that's really good progress. Um, I was going to say something else, but I can't remember what it was. Might come to me later.
Yeah. So do you think there is pressure to look in a certain way? Like, say when you were younger and you were saying now that you're older, you feel like it's more performance-based, health-based goals that you're chasing. Do you think there is a pressure, whether it's from social media or from ourselves, to look in a certain way? And how could we get past that if we're feeling that pressure?
Yeah, I think there is, and I also think there isn't. Um, there's like some really good quote from Bob Marley, but it's basically like about being a prisoner in your own mind. So it's like, if you choose to see that there is that pressure, then absolutely there is that pressure, and it is so real. But if you almost choose to kind of have that mental resilience and not look at that, then it's not there. So I guess, perception is people's own reality. I think, overall though, like, yes, it's pretty hard to escape those pressures that are constantly kind of, put up against us, like with, Instagram and media and magazines and those kind of things. So I do think that pressure is pretty hard to avoid. Um, what was the last part of your question? Sorry, advice,
So
did you say, on
then,
how
yeah,
to?
like, I mean, I guess because, I'm 42 at the moment, I'm
Mm,
43 next month. And I think, a few of you girls that I train now, have sort of been through a few cycles or years of training with me, and you're a bit older and wiser now. And
mm.
older, I don't mean old, I just mean we've got more life experience. So I guess, if someone's just started in the group, and they're
Mm.
just thinking, oh goodness, how am I ever going to look like that? And they're just really obsessing about how they look. Yeah, what's some tips or even mental exercises that we can do to get past that and actually just learn to love ourselves for who we are?
Yeah, I think having really good goals to focus on. And the goals can kind of have actions that might get you a result of changing the way you look. But as an example, if you have a goal of, like, meditating is something that I'm trying to learn at the moment, because it gives you really, really good like mental kind of clarity and focus. So meditating in the morning is, like, according to research, one of the best things you can do in terms of I guess opening up all your like ability to absorb information and actually process information properly and use your prefrontal cortex, which is where your, you know, executive decision making comes from. So I think, like, you know, meditating is definitely something that I would recommend. Like, getting enough sleep is completely underrated. But I think a big one, which I learned from roller derby, because being in a team or a league of like 100+ women, there was always somebody better than you. And at times that was really, really no, really challenging, because you wanted to be better. But I think comparing yourself with yourself was something that I really learned. So, you know, if we used to do kind of timers with laps, and, you know, sometimes you'd start off and you'd get like 18 laps, and you'd ask the person next to you and they got 24, and you're like, oh, I suck. But then you did it the next week and you got 19 and you got 20. And so when you start comparing yourself with yourself, that makes a really big difference. And I think that's something that we need to do, is to just kind of stop looking externally and intrinsically, like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
That's a really important thing to try and understand, the whole why piece.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've learned over the years is just to get to know myself a bit better. And I would always say to girls as well that are starting out, like, just get to know yourself, because when you can observe the signs of what almost like triggers you to think negatively, or what triggers you to think positively, and it might even be down to something like, I don't know, when you're a kid, your mum criticized you for not being good at sport or for being fat or something, and then you sort of like held that with you, but it wasn't even a true thing. And so it could be something that you've just created in your own mind. So I guess getting to know yourself, and I think this is actually called timeline therapy, where you think about how you've grown up, some of the things that have happened to you, and what you believe about yourself. And then you go back through that timeline and you ask yourself, is that true? Because a lot of the things that we are holding as beliefs may not even be true anymore. And then, like, I know, for example, in school sport, I used to play netball. I think I was in like the bottom team of netball, or like the third to worst team. You know, so if you'd told me when I was at school, oh yeah, you'll be like in the fitness industry and in fitness magazines, I would have said, don't be silly, like, I'm the worst at netball. But, you know, if I just believed that I was really bad at sport, then I never would have had a crack at anything. And then I think as well, getting to know our triggers, like what you're saying, I find meditation really, really rejuvenating and relaxing. And I really try to do it at least 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes I drop off and miss it for a few weeks, but that's like a real game changer. And I know that really, really helps me. And I know, like you're saying with the sleep, if I get overtired, I just make the worst choices in nutrition, and I don't focus on my work. And so I think you got to know what works for you. Like, for me, it's like a good sleep is really important, and balancing doing meditation, which for me is just sit and do nothing, which is really, I think we both would agree, pretty hard for both of us.
Definitely.
But sometimes I think people are trying so hard to exercise and do like a million exercise sessions a week that they don't realize that if they did more meditation or recovery strategies, they would actually get in way better condition. Because what they're trying to do is just add more and more sessions of exercise to lose fat or to get fitter, but there's not enough recovery to reap the benefit of those workouts. And so I think it's about getting to know yourself and knowing, like, I will always push myself harder and harder and harder, and because I know that, I can now go, no, Amelia, like 5 workouts a week is enough.
Yeah, that is enough. I think as well, like, it's such a good point, because I think like having a growth mindset is really important. And having a growth mindset is about kind of like, you know, trying and knowing that you're probably not going to get everything the first time, and that's okay, and kind of asking questions and having that belief that you can get better. I think that's, like, as you said, kind of really important. And I think this is something when I was younger, I was really, really bad at, is kind of wanting to be really good at something. I'm still working on this myself. wanting to be really good at something, kind of trying it once or twice, and then just being like, I don't understand. I'm not perfect at this. This is shit. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
And really kind of acknowledging that like your reward is commensurate with the amount of effort you put in.
Yeah.
So like when you see people that have amazing physiques, like you can definitely get there, but like, do you actually want to put the effort in? And maybe you don't, and like maybe that's cool, but it's about being realistic again, and I guess having that growth mindset about, you know, the effort you put in, you will get reward from it, but you have to actually put that effort in. And that applies to, you know, as you would know, like corporate land, business land, like every, you know, parenting, like everything, relationships. Like if you don't actually put effort in, the reward will be, you know, that result. So
yeah, I think that's very insightful, and thank you so much for sharing that with us, because, you know, at Living Beauty, we're not just about our fitness, we're about having a well-rounded life. And yeah, like you say, you can work till 10 o'clock every night in the corporate world and get better results, or you can never ever have a glass of wine or a piece of chocolate and get shredded, or you can be like the best parent in the world that, you know, maybe like dots all the I's and crosses all the T's reading these parenthood books, but I think you'll just lose the plot, you know, trying to be perfect. And like you say, it's okay just to go, well, I'm like an 8 out of 10 in this area of my life, but I'm happy to be like an 8 out of 10, like in all areas, rather than be like, I think a lot of people who master one aspect then let the other aspects go. So, you know, one example of this is like, say someone's like completely amazing with their figure, but then they're like not a really nice person and have no friends, or, you know, someone's like really, really successful financially, but they like have never been able to have a relationship. So, you know, it's like that thing of, a lot of the people that we hold at the pinnacle of either industry or fitness, or, you know, these people, you don't see the back end of like, okay, where's all the other areas of their life?
Exactly. 100%. And it goes back to that harmony piece. It's like, you know, those people, they probably think like, I can't get balance, but then they don't have harmony either. As you said, they, you know, potentially focus on one area, like at the sacrifice of everything else. And you can kind of do that, but for very short periods of time, like, you know, a couple of days or a week or something, leading into competitions and whatever else. But it's not a sustainable way, in my mind anyway, to kind of live.
I think just to wrap up, I'm definitely on the same page as you in terms of like, I just want the best out of all areas of life. I don't have to be the best, but I want to have the best memories and the best fun, you know, in like work and relationships and holidays, and, you know, have fun at competitions, and just really enjoy a balance and harmony of everything. So thank you for introducing us to that word. I'm going to put a few notes down in the comments to summarize what we've chatted about today. Do you have any parting words of advice for the girls?
I think just be kind to yourself. Like, you know, life is a journey. It's not a race. You're not going to be perfect all the time. That's okay. You know, everything's a choice, but I think really like just be kind to yourself, and understand your goals and your why. And, you know, don't let other people kind of determine what that is for you. You need to kind of work that out for yourself, and be kind.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Sara. And I'm going to have you in the group when I air this particular interview, so the girls can ask questions. So thanks so much.
Beautiful. Thanks, Amelia.